think it's so cool that you guys get to go to theme parks, partially for work, but you guys get to go to all these fun places. That's what we want to focus on.
Like the whole purpose of this podcast is for gotcha journalism. So that's really kind of what we're going after right now. So Peter, Kitra, thank you so much for coming on the show. And I just want to dive right in because they're waving.
Introduce themselves.
Oh yeah, so go ahead and say hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Peter.
And I'm Kitra, and we have a YouTube channel called Ordinary Adventures.
Yeah, we go to theme parks, we go on cruises, we eat a lot.
Yeah.
Travel.
That's the gist.
But not in a van or... What are you guys doing? Overlanding? Or you're going to overland?
Not in a tuk-tuk.
We're still trying to figure out what we do.
People show up on our social media like, I don't get them. I don't know where they're at. Just...
I want to dive into a really hard question right now because like we're just going to cut through the fluff because like we're going to get to know who you guys are. I want to know how the butt check came in to play.
Gosh, that's how you're going to start.
I'm going to start this episode with the butt check because for those of you who don't know, Ordinary Adventures, Peter and Kitra, they have this long, like, every time we go onto Instagram, it's like a picture of a butt.
Somebody's tagging Kitra in a butt check.
Yeah.
I've tagged you in a butt check, and I don't even know where the story started. And I'm like, I got to tag her in this butt picture.
I love that this is like
Yes.
my legacy at this point, and so many people are like you. They're like, I don't understand, but okay.
And I want to say before she goes into the story, this was not a thing created for the YouTube channel. Before we had YouTube, she would literally pick up things like little corgi toys.
We're going to go back.
Butt check.
So growing up, my family, we had corgis. Always had like a rotation of like 3 corgis. They have the cutest little fluffy butts. I love them. They're adorable. And then all of a sudden this craze kind of came about corgis. So that's kind of like the start of it, I would say. And I think one time we were just filming and we were looking at Christmas ornaments or something. And I was just kind of like showing it off to the camera. And I like turned around and Peter's like, are you looking at its butt? Like, is this a butt check? And it just like snowballed from there. And like we used to say it more in videos of just like random things like Captain America when we'd go to like Avengers Campus or like whatever.
It was usually cute animals, though. It usually wasn't human beings.
So it's just evolved to the point of like now just on Instagram, like people will just tag me in like the most random things. And I kind of love it because like you, people are just like, I don't understand, but okay, that's kind of weird, but whatever. So yeah.
I love it. Every time I see like a cute little butt, like on an animal, I think, oh,
well, I love that you think of me. The weirdest thing is like one time we were out somewhere and somebody yelled butt check to me, like in person. And then it like,
oh gosh,
from across the
like from like, and I was just like, oh God, okay, this is really weird. Like somebody yelling it to me. I'm like, I now understand why this is like a little bit weird. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's
I love
hilarious.
it. I assumed it was something like that, but I didn't quite know. But I mean, like I hopped on that bandwagon. I've tagged you a couple times. I think Kramer. I tagged you in a picture of Kramer at one point.
Keep it up.
We were in Mexico. Yeah,
I will.
We were in Mexico and we saw this statue, and I'm like, oh, there's a butt. Let's tag this statue of this butt for Kitra. And Sarah's like, why do you do that? I'm like, trust me, they'll get it. And I had no idea.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, whoever follows you, they know the story. In fact, we did have several people actually reach out and like, can you interview Peter and Kitra? Like people wanted to have you guys on.
Oh,
or
awesome.
wanted us to have you guys on.
Yeah, a lot of people have. And so for those of you who don't know, like they said at the beginning,
They
Peter
do all
and
sorts of travel.
You do all sorts of travel, but you go to all these amusement parks, you go to cool like press events, and then you travel to Florida, go to Disney World. I mean, I feel like you guys are everywhere when it comes. You haven't arrived in Tennessee to Dollywood yet, but
it's on our list. We want to go so bad, mainly for the food.
Yeah, we hear so much about that cinnamon bread.
Yeah.
Yes, I've had it. It's good. It's been years since I've had it, but it's good. Come on down. That's like an hour from us, hour and a half.
Yeah.
If we ever do, you guys should totally meet us there, and we could just have like a fun day, like at Dollywood.
Well, Chris and Sara were coming down like towards our area, but it was like in the middle of like there was like fires or something.
No, it was rain.
Oh,
That's
rain.
when we were having like our roof problem, and I was like, we can't leave
Yeah.
our house. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was snowing in LA. We were there the day that like the LA's like the
Oh my
Hollywood
gosh.
sign
The
had snow
grapevine
on it.
closed down.
Of course,
and,
it was
yeah.
like the 2 days we decided to roll through
Oh
California.
yeah, we're like,
I know.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was crazy.
Yeah, you guys have had crazy weather. So you guys live in California, but like Chris said, you guys are all over the place. So can you catch us up on where you guys have been lately? Like what kind of travels are on the horizon for you guys?
What's on the horizon?
We don't really have anything planned for the rest of the year. We have some things that we would like to do, but we haven't planned it yet.
Well, there's like a Halloween Horror Nights that, like there's the whole haunt season in amusement parks. So there's like Not Scary Farm, there's Halloween Horror Nights, there's Oogie Boogie Bash at
that's gonna like sneak up on us before we know it.
And all that stuff starts like some of it starts in August. Like Halloween
they start
starts
selling the
early
merch
now.
in like July.
Yeah.
Like you start seeing Halloween stuff, and then by the time it gets to October, like people are over it, which is very bizarre.
So they start rolling out Christmas stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys go to these theme parks and, like you document all these like fun experience. Like what made you get into it? Like, why did you start filming yourselves at theme parks and going?
Well, I think we were both always obsessed with theme parks all our lives. I used to live in Massachusetts. I moved out to California, and one of the reasons I wanted to be closer to Hollywood because I had this website called Slash Film, which covered movies, but also because I wanted to become an annual pass holder at Disneyland, at Universal.
We always joke, we're like, we could never leave LA because we'd be too far away from Disneyland.
Yeah. Because like, someone like you guys, you go to the parks, you got to get you buy a ticket. It costs like $200. You're there, open it.
Crazy.
Us, it's like more of a casual thing. Like, let's go down there, 3 p.m. We'll go get dinner, maybe ride a ride, and then come home. It's kind of that, or was that kind of thing before we started filming for a YouTube channel. But the thing was, so Slash Film was a site that I ran. It's this big movie site, and we got invited to cover the opening of Galaxy's Edge, which is like the big Star Wars land in Disneyland. And I was like, no one's going to want to read this on a blog. Like, people are going to want to see it. And even like, usually she would take pictures at these press events, and I would write up
really horrible photos, really bad. I'm like, I'm the photographer. And they would be the worst photos ever.
Yeah. But like, we were like, people are going to want to like see it in video. And we had been watching a lot of vlogs. I think we had just started watching you guys. We'd gotten in through watching like theme park YouTubers like Tim Tracker, Adam the Woo, those kind of people. And she always joked like, maybe we should vlog.
He's like, never. That's never going to happen. And we just and we just decided to randomly, like, we're like, okay, let's try filming this like as a video. It's like the worst video ever. Like, you go back and watch it and you're just like, what were we thinking? But like, we're like, okay, well, what should our name be? And we literally thought of our name in like 5 minutes. We're like, okay, we got like the URL. Yeah. And it just kind of like snowballed like into what it is now. Like
and the name was a joke too, like, because these are like the highlights of our lives. But we're like, oh yeah, it's our ordinary adventures. And now people like comment, they're like, your ordinary adventures aren't so ordinary. Like, that's
why it's funny.
I love it. So I didn't realize that's where your channel started, was reviewing Galaxy's Edge. That was your first video.
Yeah.
When was that?
It was April of 2019, right? April?
Yeah. I think we technically have a few videos before that because we wanted to
test out
cameras.
Actually, our very first video that we tested it out on is we went to the premiere of Avengers Endgame. Yeah. And we filmed as much as we could. It's also a terrible video. Like, I cringe watching that video. Yeah, because, Peter had the website, so we'd get invited to cool stuff like that. And we're like, let's bring the camera. Like, this is something people would be interested in seeing. But yeah, so April 2019, I think.
Yeah, and when we started, we planned to do one video a month. And then it ended up snowballing into us doing like 3 videos a week and a live. And now we're down to 2 videos.
I don't know. I look back like before the pandemic and like we were doing 3 videos a week plus a live. I'm like, I don't know how we did that.
I don't know how you do that. I'm over here just like, we struggle to get 1 video out a week most weeks.
Yeah.
It takes everything we have in us.
That's amazing. So, all right. So you're going to these theme parks, you're filming, you're doing all of this, and then people start watching. And like, I feel like whenever I check Instagram and like you guys pop up, it's always somebody like tagging you. Like, they're always like seeing you at Disney World or whatever theme park. And I feel like you just have this like loyal fan base of just like super theme park fans or, or movie fans or whoever, just like they're super excited to whatever you post. And I think it's because you guys come off really personal and authentic. Like there's, I don't feel like there's a hidden agenda with you guys. I mean, we watched R.I.P. the Star Wars Hotel.
Pour one out.
Yeah. Pour one out for that. Like, we watched your video and then like you open it up by doing like a flush test of the toilet. Like
that stuck with us. We're like, that's so smart.
Like we forget all about the immersion things. I'm like, but the toilet, like that thing was really good. So I mean,
so funny.
That's another
so,
thing
I mean,
that
like,
kind of just like started. That's actually in our very first video. Not the flush test, but like we were showing our bathroom for some reason, and then
you were getting ready for the premiere, and I showed some artwork over the toilet, and you
I was
were
like, please
so
don't
embarrassed.
film this. And so it just became like a running joke. And we've gotten a few comments on that Star Cruiser video that's like, really? Like you're showing the toilet? And I'm like, it's funny. Maybe. I don't know.
Because you have those viewers that are the people that are with you guys.
Know, okay.
But then there's something like that got a lot of viewers that weren't our regular viewers. So they were so confused by why we were showing a toilet.
I love it though. I think it's so funny.
Yeah, I love it. Like I think it like you guys add personality to your adventures. And yeah, I mean, is that intentional or does it just come off naturally, like in your when you film?
I think it's intentional because there's some YouTubers you watch and like, especially in the travel space, it's all about like it's more like influencer like where it's like, look at this cool place and how cool it is and how cool I am for being in this cool place, doing this cool thing, and isn't it cool? And that's what I love about you guys. It's like you should. No, but you guys show the reality of it. And even when you guys were, we got sucked into the whole van life YouTube genre. And a lot of that is like about just showing like the van and what it's like to live in a van. But you guys were showing not
like
just
the real life. And you have your dog with you and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
We were a wreck is what you were saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm always like, that's so cool that you bring your dog with you places because our dogs, like, we've thought about doing that, but they are the worst in the car. Like Gizmo just cries the entire time. I'm like, this would be a nightmare. Really? We were like thinking like during the pandemic, we're like, we should like rent a van and like go on. Like we were like deep into the van life, but then like, I don't know, maybe one day we'll try it for like a weekend or something, but it seems like a lot.
It seems harder than.
Give it a go. We can help you.
You just have to be okay with your own stench. Like is really what it comes down to. After a week of being in there, you're like, all right, this is normal.
It's not glamorous. You get to know each other really well.
Yeah.
Like really, really well. So
it's funny to me how many van life YouTubers have gotten rid of the shower. Like they don't even have a shower because they want the more space. And I'm like, I guess that just shows the like.
Yeah. You're
Planet
just
Fitness all day.
Planet Fitness. You're just okay. Like you don't care anymore. You walk into Whole Foods and you're like, this is who I am. Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about places you've been. I know we know you make videos on YouTube. Like that's great. We love following you guys. But talk to me about where you get to go. So we know you guys go to theme parks. You've also gone to Hawaii and that kind of thing. So what are the best places you've been to, or what are your favorite places?
Well, since we started the channel,
we love cruising. That's like one thing that we've kind of gotten into right before we actually started the channel. And it's something that I didn't think our audience was going to go with us on that adventure. Like, cause it's like so outside of like theme parks. And I mean, especially since our first cruise on the channel was like a Royal Caribbean. So it wasn't like Disney or something like that. You guys haven't done any cruising on your channel?
We've never
been on a cruise, and actually, I wanted to ask you guys about that. Like, hear your input. I always said I wasn't a cruise person because I think being stuck somewhere kind of, I don't know if that was my thing, but everybody's like, you have to give it a try. Okay.
See, that's what
are
I
your
thought.
Thoughts on it?
We like before we ever went on a cruise. He had been on a few before we met each other. And I was always like, it's not for me, especially a Disney cruise, being stuck with all those kids on the ship. Like, it doesn't sound fun to me. I didn't really know much about it. And then we went on our first Disney cruise, like before we started our YouTube channel. And it was like one of the best trips like of my life. Like it was so much fun.
Really?
And then we started doing it once we started the YouTube channel. And I always tell people, I'm like, you think you're not a cruise person until you do it one time. And then you get like the cruise bug, and it's so much fun. It's so fun. And I love like as much as it's fun to like go to the different destinations, like it's also fun just to like explore the ship too.
Yeah, there's so much to the ship. I think what you guys would like about it is you get to sample a bunch of different destinations from like a country, or like, you know, one day you're in Cozumel, the next day you're in Ensenada, or what, you know, I'm just making up places. That probably doesn't work because they're in different areas.
Yeah,
I didn't know that, so it's fine.
You had me. You had
Like-
me though.
Yeah, like we were in Puerto Rico. Like we probably would have never explored Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we want to go back, and it like makes you think like, oh, I want to go back here and like spend a full vacation at the destination. Like we really want to go on an Alaskan cruise.
Yeah.
We want to go places
Yeah.
other than the Bahamas, maybe like a European cruise. But I think like one of our big goals is we want to we want to travel the world, obviously, but we also want to go to the different theme parks in the different countries. So like we really want to go to Japan, like Tokyo, and you know, Disney Paris, and even like the more like obscure theme parks like in Germany that like nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah.
Like I think that would be really fun.
Okay. Have you been to any out of the country yet?
No.
No.
Oh,
We've
guys.
been out of the country, but not, and actually not together, right?
I mean, yes, before YouTube, but yeah, not since we've had the channel.
Yeah.
And I want to see all the different Disneys around the world, especially
I
because like
know.
I grew up going to Disney. Like I don't know much about the other parks, but like Disney, like I know Disney World.
Yeah,
well, so I
because
really want to see that.
Like we know Disney World kind of inside out. I feel like we do.
Probably not as well as you guys.
Yeah, but like if you were to put us in Disneyland, we would. I mean, we would just be fish out of water.
We've never been to Disneyland,
Yeah,
so tell. This is completely.
You guys need to come to Disneyland.
Yeah, that'd
need
be
to do
so
it. We
fun.
need to make
It's
it happen.
totally different. Like it's more intimate and
Smaller, it's more charming.
Okay, so Disneyland versus Disney World. Which one's your favorite? Is that a bad question to ask? Am I allowed to ask that?
I think Disneyland for me, just because I'm born and raised in California and it's like, you know, my special place, but they're so different that a lot of people say Disney World because there's just so much more to do there.
Yeah.
So I could see that. But like Disneyland just holds a special place in my heart.
I have a feeling, knowing you guys, you would love Disneyland because like it's, even though it's smaller, like every little bit of it is like more handcrafted and like charming, and knowing what you guys like, I feel like
The food's better
the food's better. Yeah.
for the most part.
Oh,
Yeah.
Done. Sold. Bring it.
Let's go back to the cruise really quick.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah, that's
want-
what we were talking
Yeah, we were
about.
talking about the cruise. We've actually thought about doing across an Atlantic.
Like a transatlantic or a transpacific.
Yeah.
I also want to do that.
Because I truthfully, I hate admitting this. I hate flying. So I'm like, any way that I can not have to get on a plane, like, let's go. So
That's a
have you
lot of
guys
days
done a
on the
long-
ocean, though. That's a lot of days on the open
Yeah.
ocean.
That's yeah. We've got friends who they're sailing across the Pacific. They're not on a cruise ship. They're on this regular boat, and they're
Wow.
sailing across the Pacific. And it looks amazing, but it also looks terrifying
Oh my
at the
gosh.
same time. Like
Wow.
They just got hit with lightning, and all
Oh
their
my gosh.
things got all their electronics.
It's a different
got-
level of adventure.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that adventurous
No,
yet.
so
Maybe
we want to
one
be
day.
on a cruise ship, but like, I think the longest is what, 14 days on? Is that how long it is?
Across the ocean?
Yeah.
No, the Atlantic, you're like, I think 4 days without seeing land. It's really not that bad.
Okay.
I say that, but I've never been on a cruise, so I may hate it. I may get seasick.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a question in here somewhere. I know. What kind of we're all over the place today. What cruises have you guys done, and how do you find them? Like, what would you recommend getting started with?
So we've only done Disney and Royal Caribbean.
Yeah. We want to do more.
We want to
like,
branch out, and
Yeah.
you know, kind of like how I said, we want to go to a bunch of theme parks around the world. We'd like to like do not like every cruise line, but we want to branch out.
Yeah.
We obviously love Disney because we love going to theme parks and stuff. And Disney cruises are such an amazing experience. It really brings like the Disney magic that like sometimes is lacking from the theme parks.
Yeah.
Um,
The dinner show, or the dinners on Disney cruise ships, are like experiences. Like
Yeah.
there's a show element. It's not just like eating your food.
yeah, but they're also like twice as expensive as the other cruise lines. So
That's
like
true.
you're paying for that experience. But we love Royal too. Like Royal's so fun. So fun.
Yeah, we're booked in January on the maiden voyage of their newest ship, which is Icon of the Seas.
Yeah,
It's
I
gonna be
forgot
the
about that.
biggest
It's the
cruise ship.
biggest ship ever, and it's kind of like a complete redesign because a lot of the ships, like they kind of have the same basic model, and this one is like looks like totally different. Oh my God, I cannot wait for that. We booked that like as soon as it was available. So that should be really fun.
Where is it going? Can I ask, do you know what countries it's going to, or
I think
places?
it's just going to the Bahamas.
Yeah,
I think it's
so.
just going out of maybe Miami.
Nice.
Yeah, and Royal has actually both of them have their own private islands. So
Oh
like
yeah,
they go
it's
down
going to their
their
private island. That's another fun thing.
Okay, can I ask? This is us asking, as we don't have kids, we love kids, we don't have kids. Do you think Disney's? I mean, I feel like I know the answer to this.
We're on the same wavelength.
That's what you're gonna
I was
ask?
going here too. Yeah.
Yes, we are Disney adults.
I mean, us too. Like, I mean, I think Disney was one of the first places we took both of our vans. Like, we love Disney.
But you're stuck on a cruise ship, on a Disney cruise ship. How bad are the? Can adults
Be careful
go?
how you ask that,
Can
Chris.
adults go?
Yes.
Without being too Disney. Does that make sense?
Like, do you feel like you can go without having kids? Like, is it weird? Is it fun? Do you like notice the kids? Is it too loud? Like, that's what I'm concerned about.
So that's what I initially thought on my first Disney cruise. But there's so many different areas just for adults, and there's also kids clubs for the kids. So like a lot of the time, the kids are just in the kids club. So they're gone
because the kids clubs are like amazing. Like they get to like have playtime with like the characters and do cool.
Yeah,
it's well designed. So like most of the day, the kids are like. Actually, for parents, it's awesome because they just like leave their kids in the kids club and then go, relax by the pool or eat or whatever. But yeah, you don't really end up seeing too many kids. We also booked they have an early dinner and they have a later dinner. We booked the later dinner, and usually that's the dinner where the kids aren't at. So,
Gotcha.
But
I want to make it clear we don't dislike kids.
Yeah,
we like kids, but it's different for us. Like we don't when we travel, we're like. I don't know. Like we're much more aware of the noise than maybe what other families are.
Yeah.
And we give up the right. Like when we book a Disney cruise or go to a Disney park, we give up the right to be like, oh, why are there kids here? Because it's designed. I mean, it's designed for the whole family, right? And so
it's very kid friendly.
Yeah.
We have this video coming out this week. We're in Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World, and Kitra's trying to review this like elegant dessert thing, and there's this kid like
just screaming
bloody
in the
murder
background.
in the background, and at one point Kitra has to acknowledge
We just instead of trying to like work around it, we just made it part of like the story. We're like, okay, this kid is, I don't know if he's happy, he's sad, I don't know what's going on, but it was so funny.
I love it. Does that happen a lot filming in parks?
Yeah.
There's
a lot of obstacles, a lot of stuff going on.
Anytime we film, there's like someone moving like a trash can in the back. Like it just seems like we have the luck of when we push that record button, like
or there's like a scooter, like they're backing up and it's like beep, beep, beep. And we're just like, where did that come from?
That's the same. Every time we pull out our drone and Chris gets it like 2 feet up in the air, somebody inevitably like walks in the shot.
up.
We've been like trying to set up for 15 minutes. Like, how does that always happen?
Every time, and then they're like, "What are y'all doing?" I'm like, "What's it look like I'm doing? I'm flying a drone."
We were like out in the middle of the river at like 8 p.m. the other night, like filming in a canoe, and like lo and behold, this little fishing boat. No, it was like 7 a.m. It was in the morning. This little fishing boat came up right behind. So like, you have the whole river, and you're right here in my shot. So like, without fail, we get it.
There's something about like the camera like being a magnet for people. I mean, another time like we'll be filming and in public, and people will just gawk or walk slowly towards us, and you can see them in the background. Does that happen
I love
to
that.
you?
Yeah.
Do people? Yeah.
Especially like we get recognized a lot when we go to the parks, obviously. So the more and more people are recognizing us, the more and more people want to like do funny things in the background. So like when I'm editing, it takes twice as long. I'm just like, okay, what do we got? Luckily we have the bokeh like in the background for the most part, but like sometimes I'm just okay, what like B-roll can I put over this so you don't see the person?
Making a funny
and I actually
face.
had someone comment, they're like, I tried to like be in the background and I didn't see myself in the video. And I'm like, sorry, like I don't know what you were doing back there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cut. Like,
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about that for you
They were
guys.
so
I know you get
sad.
spotted a lot. That's so funny though. I mean, not funny when you're having to edit, because like I know that's not fun, but
Oh, yeah. You're just grumbling under your breath while you're hitting the blade button on the Adobe Premiere, just like
But one thing I love about your videos is like how cinematic like the openings are and how you like. I really feel like you mentioned the drone shots, and so I wish we could do drone shots. Obviously, we can't do drone shots.
Oh my gosh, one of your latest videos when you guys were in Mexico, like in that very beautiful like blue water. The amount of drone shots was just like breathtaking. It was so beautiful. Yeah. And I'm like, they're on a canoe doing this.
I don't know.
Like,
actually.
All right, we have a confession. We have a confession to make about Bacalar.
99% of our drone footage is ours, but we legally cannot fly our drone in Mexico, so that's ours.
And so
it looks beautiful.
Thank you, but it's not ours. It's a film pack.
It's so funny because we're in the Cancun airport. And we typically fly with our Pelican case, and it's got all our film equipment and all of that. And Mexico has a rule to where if you bring a drone in, it has to be a Mexican citizen that flies it, or be with you that flies it.
Or you can do like the small one, like the under 250 grams one. But ours is bigger than that.
And the military at the airport saw my Pelican case, and they come with me, and they went through everything. They were looking for a drone because they were like, this guy's gonna have a drone, and I didn't bring it on this trip. And I'm so thankful
you just had the bag.
I just had the bag, and like, it's just cameras, and but I mean, we love flying the drone.
We do. I'm glad you enjoyed that footage, but that wasn't ours.
No, but
it was so beautiful. I still loved it.
Well, thank you.
But the latest one, the one in the canoes,
the one in the canoe was ours. Today's video.
The whole time I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're flying this drone like in the boat. Like this seems so scary. Like,
well, you see like a lot of like with van life people, whatever, they're driving down like on a cliff and they're somehow flying the drone.
Peter's like, I could never do that. I'm like, I don't know.
It stresses me out.
Well, and then the battery will start, it'll be like 25%. And there's no way, I haven't figured out a way, maybe if anybody's listening, they can tell me, but I haven't figured out a way to take off the emergency beeps on the drone controller. And so the controller or the battery will get 25%. And then it's like, bah, 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 like that. And I'm flying and we're driving down the road.
I make him get out of the car. Yeah. I'm like, I can't handle it. It stresses me out too much. I'm like, get out. I can't take it.
It's bad. But
I love that drone, but I also hate it. So I hadn't even thought about not flying it in parks. I mean, I guess that's obvious. I just never thought about that.
Yeah. Like Disney's got a big no-fly zone over, and at least the one, I'm sure the one in California is the same, but it's like, no-fly zone. And
it'd be a zoo if everybody had their drones there.
And they also have like a lot of rules, like there's no selfie stick. So like we do Insta360 kind of stuff, but like only on like a handle, not like
the 10-foot long pole.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any trouble getting your DSLR in or your whatever you guys shoot with?
Sometimes it's always really random. It happens more at Universal. They have a problem with our microphone. So a lot of the times we have to take the microphone off and like I have to keep it in my bag and then Peter brings the camera in. Yeah. And then most of the time they're okay with it. But like there's been a few times where because I think it's because Universal Studios is actually a working studio. So they think having a microphone maybe could pick up on people filming stuff or something. I don't know.
But also we get invited to like press events there and then they're like, yeah, you're fine to bring a microphone. So it's like
it's really hit or miss. Because people see it and it looks so fancy and they're like, what? Why do you have this? Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
So it is weird. The microphone gets more attention than the camera. I've heard that in a lot of other places. Yeah. Somebody was just telling us about that was the same case.
Same thing. Yeah.
Where was that? I don't remember where it was, but they said that they got in trouble with like the actual country. They're like, they would not allow.
Oh, Egypt. It was Egypt. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They were trying to go film the pyramids and they're like, all the security guards were like, you can't come. And they just had a little microphone. I mean, it was just a little tiny mic. And
devastating.
So they just took it off and then they walked in and then they put it on and, it's the same thing. But we've had people grab our microphone.
They walk up and just like grab them.
Yeah.
Have you guys had that?
No.
Really?
Well, like in what context? They're like filming something and they just come up and want to take it or touch it or
they're like,
they're just like,
what is that?
Because they see the little, the dead cat, the little furry thing on top. They see that and they're like, what is that? And they just grab it and I'm like, don't touch my camera.
Oh, so this is probably like internationally, right?
It happens domestically too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this has happened like at least a dozen times.
Wow.
Like people just walk up and just like hit the microphone. Like, why would you do that?
I think like in theme parks, there's so many people live streaming and like TikTok live streams and that sort of stuff. There's so many people with their cameras out that it's more, not that it's more normal there, but you don't get as many like, what are they doing over there? because everybody's on their phone filming stuff.
Sometimes we'll have like interactions with some characters and they'll like bring it up. They'll be like, what's that creature on top of your camera or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Minnie and Mickey actually hit our microphone one time.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
I
They
wanted
totally
I
walked up,
wanted to
like,
slap
that was
Mickey.
forgivable.
I was very upset with Mickey. I was like,
I have a question for you guys. Total change of topic again. Okay, tell me about Disney's resort in Hawaii. Was it worth it? Because I have always wanted to go there.
This is another thing that
Oh my gosh.
I thought neither of us would like. We both didn't like because there's no rides, there's no attractions per se.
Well, Hawaii in general is just amazing. We're obsessed. We love it there.
Right.
We've gone twice now to Aulani. And the first time we went, we got a really, really good deal on it. Like we stayed there for 10 days. And I don't remember the exact price, but it was like unheard of how cheap it was.
It was when everything was reopening during the pandemic, and Hawaii's the resort, Disney's Hawaii resort, the Aulani is a DVC resort, so that's their like timeshare. So there was a lot of people that had timeshare points that were going to expire that year.
That's a
and
little pro tip. There's like separate websites that you could go to where you could look at like the DVC points, and sometimes people are selling them for like really cheap. So you could get
this time it was really
Send me
cheap
that
because no one wanted to travel.
no one wanted to go to Hawaii.
So we got them.
We're like, we'll go.
I think we got it like 100.
Please send me that link.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
interesting.
But it
I
is
always wanted to stay there.
It is so beautiful there, and they really pay attention to like the Hawaiian culture. Like it's not over the top Disney. Like the theming and stuff is very traditional. Even the luau there, like I was expecting, Lilo and Stitch to come out or whatever, and it was like a very traditional luau. Mickey came out one time for like 1 minute. So that was, it's just really, oh my God, I cannot recommend it enough. Like we were even like joking, like we might even, like there's this thing called Disney Vacation Club that's basically like a timeshare. And we're like, should we get DVC just like for Aulani? So we can go like every year. So
That good.
it's so.
But have you guys
worth
been
the
to
money.
Animal Kingdom in Walt Disney World?
Yes, but that's the park I know the least. I've only been there a few times.
Well, the head Imagineer there, Joe Rohde, is the guy that designed Aulani, and so it feels like if you've ever been in Animal Kingdom, like it feels like
So
worn
immersive,
and real, and it like So Aulani's like that.
Oh, Aulani is the best.
So it has the Disney magic without being Mickey and Minnie everywhere.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
It definitely has like the characters and, character dining and all that sort of stuff, and Mickey shaped like shave ice, but like it's not over the top Disney. And we always recommend too, like getting a rental car and like leaving, like venturing out, obviously, and seeing other parts of the island.
Have you guys done Hawaii? I'm not sure if I've seen a Hawaii.
Yeah.
We did Maui.
We did Maui.
Maui. Oh yeah, you did Rondahana.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
I
did.
wanna
Yeah,
go there.
we really loved it. Highly recommend. I didn't know if Hawaii was going to live up to the hype. Everybody's like, oh, Hawaii. I loved Hawaii. I'm like,
oh, it
you really
totally
love
does.
Hawaii.
Oh,
Totally.
It
100%.
totally does. We get why people move out there. We have a good friend that lives on Maui, and she just picked up her whole family and they moved out, and we're constantly jealous of her. Just
They're living their best lives.
living
it
the
looks
best life.
so good.
The food is so good there too. I have dreams about it. It's amazing.
Yeah, our favorite part of Oahu is the North Shore, which is like the surfer kind of little surfer town.
Yeah.
It has the best food.
Best vibes.
Yeah, you guys would love it. I know you and both of you
Trust
and
me.
Kramer.
Yeah. Oh,
Kramer hasn't been to
Kramer,
Hawaii.
that's
That's
one
He
of the.
needs to go.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
know.
know.
It's actually really hard to get him there because it's rabies free, but we can do it. You can do it. It just takes a little time.
He hasn't been to Hawaii and then Michigan. So we'll cross off Michigan.
He's been to 48. Been to Alaska, but not Michigan.
Wow.
One of the things about Hawaii that I loved that we learned from our friends, I love poke or poke, however you want to say it. I think it's poke. I think
it's
poke. But we would go to Safeway and get it at the grocery store there instead of going to the restaurant, and it was just as good or better. Like, I mean, it was really
That's our
good.
budget tip for Hawaii.
Man, I loved it. I love that.
And you can get, this is food related. Can you get the Dole, or I know you can get the Dole Whips at the resort. Did you guys see them or did you get them? Because I know it's like such a Disney thing.
You could get them at Aulani, and actually, like, there's a Dole plantation in Hawaii. Like, that's where Dole comes from. And you could actually go to the Dole plantation and get like the Dole Whip. They have all these different variations of it. It's amazing.
They have a train that goes around the plantation. It's called the Pineapple Express.
I don't recommend that. You could skip that. I would say just go to the gift shop and go to like the little restaurant and get like a Dole Whip. It's completely free.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you can do that for free. You don't even have to pay. I mean, well, you got to pay for the Dole Whip, but you don't have to pay admission to the.
And it tastes even better there for some reason. I don't know if it's just in my mind, but like I feel like it tastes even better there.
Pineapple chunks,
so good.
It probably was growing there, and they probably just cut it down and put.
Yeah.
Fresh that morning.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, stop, guys. That sounds so good. We're gonna be. I am thousands of miles away from Hawaii.
We're gonna be booking a flight to Hawaii right now. All right. Let's switch gears. Let's go to the dark side of the theme parks.
Oh gosh, I don't know where he's going with this.
What have you had any horror stories at being at a theme park? What's the nightmare situation for you guys?
I mean, it definitely gets crowded. People get cranky.
We haven't really had any horror stories. There's been days that it's been so crowded that like we started filming and we give up. We just like, we'll come back. We're not getting what we wanted this to be. I mean, for us, the Disney parks are kind of like this magical place. You know, like I really try to film them, and she tries to edit it so that the cinematically, so it's not just like us, you know, with a camcorder shooting, like it like feel like you actually, we want you to feel like it's magical and you're there, and like the best representation of it could be. Even
but we definitely say like if something's not going right or whatever. We're
so sometimes like it's been too busy or whatever, and just luckily we live down the street an hour and we can go home and come back another day.
Yeah.
You do a beautiful job. Like you really do. Like we feel like we're there. Like we don't get to go to Disney that often, but we can live vicariously through you guys.
It's actually funny that you say that, because I think you guys do that well. You do that really well, that we feel it. And I always like to ask questions like that because I want to know.
I just want drama.
I want the drama. That's really what I want. I want the drama. But two, just like you know, like you never know, like especially watching something online, you're like, is it really like that? Is it really as good as they say? Or, you know, what's it like in reality? And so, it's good to know.
Yeah. And I'm really wanting to go to Disney. It's been too long since we've been.
I know.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
Every time we go to Disney World, we just complain about how hot it is in like every video, and people are probably sick of hearing it. But, oh my God, it is so hot there.
I feel like we're in line and we're like sweating.
Yeah, we're like drenched in sweat. And we look around
and evereverdy's like in dresses and whatever.
Beautiful, makeup fully done. I'm like,
are those people?
How?
Yeah.
You see like all the Disney influencers like in front of the castle, like in their dress, like whatever. I'm like, that is not me. That is not me.
I got my comfy walking shoes on, and I'm usually wearing some form of like spandex. Just
got my neck
We're there
fan.
on a mission.
I was gonna ask about that. I saw that in your Insta story recently. You have your little.
Yeah.
I told Chris, like, do you see their neck fan? We need that.
You 100%. It is a game changer. And we've just given up. I mean, I wear Crocs. Like, I just don't care anymore. But, like, the
when
neck
we're filming,
fan,
I'll take it off.
Yeah, we'll take it off, like, for the most part when we're doing something. But, like, the rest of the time, it's just blowing the air in your face. And it helps a lot. Like, I highly recommend.
I'm getting one because I mean, like, we are not that far from Florida. It's always hot here. Like,
no, and we'll film with it on. Like we're not. We won't be ashamed of it. Like you guys.
I usually keep mine on. He takes his off. I'm like, keep it on. Who cares?
Well, it looks ridiculous.
I love it.
And then like whatever the shutter speed of the camera makes it look like the fans are like not like it's moving slow or something. It looks weird. Yeah.
Bothers you. Yeah.
We'll have to send you a link once we're done here. We found them on Amazon.
Because
They're
we've literally tried like 6 different neck fans.
We tried a lot
found
of them
the best neck
until
fan.
we found the best one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So we are the experts on the neck fan.
I even have this.
You'll want to bring them to Dollywood.
Yes, probably.
I have this hip fan that you put on your belt, and it's like a square kind of thing. You put on your belt, and it takes in the air from the side and blows it up your shirt.
Yeah.
So it's
what?
Yeah, next level.
Yeah.
So when you go full theme park, yeah.
Sarah, we do theme parks at this level.
They're like,
and they're just like, they have mastered it.
it's like an art for you guys. I'm so we do need you guys to go with us for our first time to Disneyland, because I don't even know where to start. But
oh my gosh, that'd be so much fun.
Okay, can I ask, and feel free not to answer this because I know you say you get spotted a lot at Disney, but where do you guys typically stay when you go to Disney World or Disney? I guess Disneyland you stay at home, but do you have like a favorite resort at Disney World?
So a lot of the time lately when we've been going to Pixel.
It's our dog Pixel.
I guess
Someone's probably walking by the door. Sorry.
No.
Oh my goodness. So we actually stay at the Universal resorts for the most part.
Oh, wow.
Because, you know, you can
They're
either
a
rent
lot
a car
cheaper.
or we just usually do Uber, but they're so much cheaper and they're actually really nice, like for the price, because we're not in the room a lot. So like we've stayed at some of the fancy Disney resorts and stuff, and they're awesome, but it's like I feel like I can't enjoy it because we're out most of the day, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think our favorites, like if you're gonna spend a lot of money and go to like to be at a resort, Animal Kingdom.
Oh, Animal Kingdom Lodge is beautiful
because they have Savannah from views where you go out onto your balcony and you can actually see like the giraffes and all the animals there, like eating.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and the food.
Yes.
A lot of the resorts actually have really, really good food too, but you don't need to be staying there to eat the food. So you could book dining and just go to the resort and hang out for a little bit and eat and then go on.
But for instance, like Animal Kingdom probably costs, I'm guessing, like $600 a night. We stay with an annual pass holder discount at Universal for under $100, probably like $70 or $80 a night. Like at they have Universal Dockside, which is like their value resort, but it's honestly like not bad. Like
I feel like it's a hit or miss with like noise, like with like children running down the hallway. But like the last couple of times that we've been there, it's been super quiet. It's very clean. Like the food's great. I don't know.
We'd rather spend our money on like
other things,
the food and the experience than like the accommodations. Like 'cause we're never there.
That?
Yeah.
Same. Yeah, same. And I like that you said that you don't have to stay at the resort to enjoy the food. Like that's, we always stay at Fort Wilderness because we used to because we had a van and we loved Fort Wilderness. It's just like, it's really quiet and peaceful.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
We actually filmed our very first van tour, our very first van tour video. We filmed at Fort Wilderness.
Everybody thought we were like boondocking in the middle of nowhere. No, we were definitely at Fort Wilderness.
Oh my God.
And only
so
one
funny.
person out of 5 million, that video went viral. So out of 5 million people, only one person said, "Are you at Fort Wilderness?" They saw the golf cart go in the background.
Golf cart.
They just see Mickey in the background. They're like,
Well,
how funny.
For the longest time, you guys actually had Disney in your intro, like your like little
The Space Mountain one?
No, we had Mickey like we would do like the intro. We would have Mickey like wave and all that. Yeah.
Man, that was, I don't know how we did that day, but we went to like 3 parks in a day and we saw like Minnie and Mickey and we saw more characters than I've ever seen in my life.
It was like they orchestrated it for us. We're like, what's happening? And it was just we had
like
Epcot
the Disney
to ourselves.
magic is real. Weird. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was super real.
I love Disney. Oh my gosh. But
Fort Wilderness.
Yeah, Fort Wilderness. We say. But I was saying like, the last 2 times we were there, we've done the marathon or the half marathon. So we always run the race and then we book like food reservation. We did Animal Kingdom Lodge for one of them. We did like one of the buffets there and we just like ate our way through that hotel that day. It was so good. So we do enjoy the food every now and then. Like that's a nice little tip. But yeah, Animal Kingdom Lodge is really cool.
Yeah. And if you guys ever want to do a marathon, half marathon, 5K, whatever at Disney, it just gives you the excuse to eat anything at the end.
Like we need that excuse.
Yeah, like we need an excuse.
I've always been intrigued about doing that, but I'm also fearful of like the balloon people at the end who like shoo you away if you don't go fast enough. Because like me, I want to just be like taking pictures and like not like, I don't know, and kind of running. And then I'd be afraid that
I didn't even know about the balloon people until recently. We watched the vlog and the person was not able to catch up or stay in front of the balloon people.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I mean, they still give you the medal and stuff, but
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know. That always like
Yeah,
scares
yeah.
me. I feel like I need to get in shape.
Dreaded balloon person.
Yeah.
No, we have a friend who she's done a few of them now, and she actually was with the balloon person one time, and so that was like her motivation to keep going, and she
Yeah.
finished ahead of it, but she could like see it coming up behind
Well,
her.
that is good
Yeah.
motivation now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just see it
Yeah.
in the corner of your eye. You're like, oh, it's coming. Got to pick up the pace.
It's funny. Like people get hung up on trying to like get their photos with the characters. Like they'll be running like a 5-minute mile. They'll be tracking along, and then all of a sudden Aladdin's there, and they just destroy their pace, and they're just like, "Hey, we got to get our picture with Jafar."
I love that about Disney though, because it's not. Very few people are there to actually like get a PR or something.
Yeah.
Most people are there just to have fun, and I love it. I absolutely love Disney races. So you need to do it. It's fun.
It's and like it takes the edge. Everybody's dressed like a lot of people dress up. They'll run in costumes. We saw this guy. He was dressed as Aladdin, and he was making good time. But then midway through the race, the Florida heat just hit him, and all
gosh,
his
yeah.
like body paint just started.
Oh no.
But he said he also had a stomach bug. Like I heard him say, he's like, I've got a stomach bug. He's like, I don't know what I got, but he finished the 26.2 miles that day.
Wow.
And it was like record heat. They actually had to close the course off
that's
behind
right.
us. And so
I didn't
people
even think
didn't
of
get
that.
a finish. It was so bad. It was hot.
Yeah,
So
Florida.
hot.
Yeah, the Florida Marathon. It gets weird. Sometimes it's really hot, and then sometimes it's like cold, and water's freezing and everything. Yeah, it's weird. But.
Yeah. But it's still fun, even if you about die in the heat.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah, we've convinced them not to do that.
Well, I can't even imagine stopping to see the characters because I'd be so worried about the balloon people. I'd be like,
Or like you're so sweaty. It's like, do you really want a picture with the character when you look like your absolute worst?
Chris, he takes the GoPro and he'll like yell at the character like between people running by. He'll be like, Mr. Incredible, and Mr. Incredible will like turn.
Yeah.
And that's
There
like
we
our
go.
shot.
That's a
And
good
the-
way to do it.
And the people, you have the character, and then you have their bodyguard right next to them, and the bodyguards just get so upset because they know what I'm doing. I'm cutting the line, and I'm getting the reaction, but it's worth it for the vlog.
Despicable,
Love
Chris.
their bodyguard.
Despicable.
when you were staying at Fort Wilderness, did you see like how everybody like decorates their like golf carts and all that?
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing.
At Christmas? Are you talking about Christmas
Yeah.
time?
And Halloween too.
Oh, I didn't know
I don't know
Halloween.
if I've ever been at Halloween, but the holidays in December, January.
Honestly,
oh my word.
You don't have to pay to go into the park. You could just stay at
Yeah.
Fort Wilderness because some of these people go all out.
Like crazy. Like there was this one guy and he had some like massive RV, but he had hand constructed this Cinderella castle thing to go. It was larger than his RV, so it like covered
Wow,
his RV.
I love that.
And it was just covered in lights, and he had done like his golf cart as the carriage.
Yeah.
And it was crazy.
And we were like,
That's so
it was
cool.
Like, do you work for the park? And he's like, no. He's like, I'm from Indianapolis. I'm like, okay, cool, good for you,
Yeah,
man.
people
Like,
go all out. That seems really
Yeah.
fun.
You need to go for that. That alone is worth it. I guess we could ask you guys, like practical tips. Do you guys have any tips of like, these are your inside pro tips for, should we just focus on Disney? Because I feel like that's what you and I know best.
Well, I mean, we know Disney, but I mean, yeah, I mean, like, I know that you guys go to Universal, and I mean, I feel like the Universal tip staying at
Oh, no, that's
Universal.
it.
I mean,
It
that's
did.
a really good tip, but yeah. So let's talk about theme parks, but we can focus on Disney. But like, what are like some practical tips for people to like dive in and have a good time?
Neck fan.
Neck fan. Yes,
Yeah,
neck fan. Waist fan, maybe.
If you're in Florida, I'd bring a poncho and a change of
Yes.
socks. Something it took us years of going to Florida theme parks to learn because we'd been like through
I always forget an umbrella, and then it always rains when we're there.
range,
Like,
but then you're
one day
walking
I'm gonna
around with
remember.
like these like wet socks. But if you have a change of socks in your backpack,
Yes.
after it's done raining, you change out the socks and then you feel so nice.
My advice to people is like, try to pace yourself and have a plan and be okay like if you don't get to do everything, because things just don't work out sometimes. And I mean, you guys have done it when you're there from like opening to close, like that really drains you.
Yeah.
So I always try to like maybe look ahead, look at the menus, see stuff that like I'm interested in, and then just go in like, okay, if I do these few things and just that, like I'll be happy.
You know, at Disney, a lot of people still don't know about mobile ordering, which you can do on your phone. Like we were just there, and I remember we were at Pizza Rizzo and Hollywood Studios, and there was like a line going out the out the restaurant.
A lot of the time you could just do mobile ordering and it's
she
ready
mobile
right
ordered it
away.
and was able to pick it up
And then you
walk
just skip
past
the line and you're like, get your food and everyone's still waiting. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. We would have been the
ordering is
suckers in
key.
line.
And you could even you could plan stuff. I mean, get there in the morning and you're like, I think I'm going to want a Dole Whip at like 8 p.m. and you could like plan it. So then you could go pick it up at that time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So if you really want to be planning, that's a good way to do it. But a lot of the time stuff is like available within like 10 minutes of when you look at it.
And you can always cancel too. So if
you can always cancel, or if you don't show up for some reason, because it gives you a window, that they cancel it for you, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, because you don't pay for it until you pick it up.
No, I think you do, or maybe they put a hold on it or something. Either way, you get your money back if you don't pick it up. Oh. So, why not?
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys do park hopping? Like, do you run from park to park, or is your schedule pretty much like, we're going to do one park today? Like, you can plan out that whole day.
At Disneyland, it's really easy because the parks are right next to each other. Like, they're literally like a couple hundred feet, in between. So it's very easy to like, let's go grab a drink like at DCA and then go back to Disney and watch the fireworks or whatever. Disney World, it's a little bit harder. We have the annual pass, so it allows us to go wherever we want. But like, I don't know.
We're usually filming a video where it's like concentrated on like one park. So we usually end up spending the day there because
sometimes it takes like a really long time to wait for the bus or wait for like the monorail. You're like, I could just hop over there and it takes like an hour and a half. You're like, why is it taking so long?
It does. It does take forever. Disney World is huge, but I didn't realize that Disneyland ones were side by side.
Yeah, they're right next to each other. It's amazing. That's another reason why we love Disneyland.
And there's actually, I think, more rides in Disneyland and DCA than there is the 4 parks in Disney World.
It's like a smaller space, which is like so bizarre.
A lot of people don't realize that.
I had no idea. I mean, all the East Coasters are always like, Disney World's better, but I don't know. I've always wanted to go to Disneyland because I've heard it's like how Walt imagined Disney World to be. Is what I've always been told. Like it's like the quaint, like the Hollywood. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, in Disney World, like I think we equate Disney World bigger is better, but that's probably not always the case.
Gators.
Well, there's definitely always something to do there. You're never, you could go to Disney Springs or go to the water parks or do whatever.
Yeah. The thing about Disney World too is I think they're catering to tourists that it's either, their once every year trip or once every 3-year trip or once in a lifetime trip. And so a lot of the stuff is consistently the same. They don't bring in a lot of seasonal food. They don't change a lot of the entertainment much because people want to go back there the next year and see the same thing and eat at the same place and have their spicy chicken sandwich at Cosmic Rays, or, whatever.
Very specific.
I'm just saying, whatever. Disneyland is more a park made for the local. Like it's like more of a local community that goes there. A lot more annual pass holders and local ticket buyers. So what they do there is they change out a lot of the stuff.
They're constantly changing stuff. There's always there's always something new there. Every time we go, there's always some new character, new food,
new entertainment.
So it never gets boring. We love it.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So if no,
it's okay.
You have a question?
I was just going to ask about the annual pass.
All right, go ahead.
Does y'all's annual pass in California cover Disney World too, or are they 2 different ones?
2 different ones.
2 different ones.
They are 2 different ones. Okay.
Back before the pandemic, there was like a pass that you could have for both. And it actually, like, if you plan to go, like, I can't do the math, but like a certain amount of days, it ended up being cheaper just to get that pass. If you're someone like us who could go on both coasts, I miss that. I wish they would bring that back. But yeah. Love the annual pass. It's so funny because when I first moved to LA, like 10 years,
it was so
like
cheap.
13 years ago or something, I had the top tier annual pass, and it was like you could do monthly payments if you want, and it was $30 a month, free parking, discounts on food.
Wow,
you could go any day of the year, discount on merchandise, whatever. Now I think the very top one,
$1,600, so I'm not sure how much that would add up.
At least like 100 something. I can't do math per month.
Yeah.
Wow.
133.
Yeah. So like it's just wild to me how obviously every year they like up it by a few dollars or whatever. But I look back and I'm just like, wow, it's really worth it. And I could just go on like a random Monday and like nobody would be there. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have an annual pass. We have friends who have them for Disney World, and I'm so jealous. They're like, yeah, we hop over to Disney for dinner.
Yeah, and we thought we had thought that if we get an annual pass for Disney World, we could go to Disneyland and all that. And then I think we found out I was in Fort Wilderness, and I'm so cheap. Like I'm just like I will try to save a buck wherever we can.
Yeah.
And I bought one of their drinks, and they have, if you don't know, they have like a microchip or something in the bottom of the cup.
The
for
mugs.
And I went to the cash register and I'm like, hey, because at the time we were actually thinking about flying to LA and we're like, oh, maybe we'll do Disneyland. And so I asked the cast member behind the cash register, I'm like, hey, can I use this in Disneyland next week? And they're like, I don't think so. So
Yeah, I don't
they
think
didn't really
Disneyland
know.
has that. Maybe at the hotels here, but
Yeah, not the
I don't think
parks.
you could interchange. Unfortunately, they're
That's a good
stingy
tip.
about
We're
their
so
soda.
Yeah, that's a good pro tip at the resorts, though. Like, if you're going to be spending time at the resorts, getting that refillable mug, because it ends up being a lot, very cheap to, like, just go there and refill.
Yeah.
Even the annual pass is sounding pretty good. I'm thinking, like, what is parking at Disney World at Magic Kingdom now? Is it like $35, $45 for the day?
Maybe more than that.
It's so expensive. Like, annual pass, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
If you
think
can-
every
if you can
level
make it
of the
fun.
annual pass in Florida includes parking. So no matter which one,
Oh,
because there's
cool.
different levels. Like there's cheaper ones, and then that have more blockout days. So you should look into it if you plan to go. Like if you could do the math and it makes sense for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day. I'm so jealous. Our friends are always inviting us down to go to Disney World with them. And I'm like, I have to pay $200 to get in there for
know.
the day. I
It's
can't join you for
expensive
dinner.
without it.
When you go to Disney World or Disneyland, what is the must go to restaurant? Like you're like, all right, I've got to eat. I've got to have this. What's the best food?
Ooh, there's so many, so many good ones.
Disney California Adventure Lamplight Lounge. I don't think there's anything that like beats it. It's like on the water. It's themed after Pixar, and they have like the best cocktails.
Yeah,
and
they have the
drinks,
amazing cocktails there.
but they have like amazing food too. Like they have these like potato skins, which are not like potato skins I've ever seen anywhere.
Lobster
else.
nachos, that's like
Yeah.
a cult classic. Like if you talk to anybody,
sounds really
like
good.
they're like, you
Right
gotta
over.
get the lobster nachos. They're amazing. They're
If you guys
so
come,
good.
we're
we're
going
gonna
there
take
and we're
you
doing
there.
that.
We're gonna
I want
pick
full
everything out
tour.
for you. Oh, it's so good. I love. Yeah, that's like our number one recommendation is Lamplight for sure.
But what about at Disneyland? Actually,
Disneyland.
yeah,
We love all the Star Wars food.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like when we're in Disneyland, I feel like the food in Disney California Adventure is a little bit better. Or no, that's not true. Disneyland just has more like generic places where you could get like a piece
Hot dogs
of crappy
and-
pizza or like whatever. But in Galaxy's Edge, they're constantly changing the menu and the food is so good there. We love Ronto wraps.
Really?
I don't know if you guys have you had the Ronto wrap?
No.
No. We had the only thing we had in Disney area at Disney World was, or Disney,
The Star Wars. We had the blue milk.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We had
What's that?
we had
That's
the,
all I got. That's all I remember.
Yeah, so
What'd you
we saw
think?
the like
I did not. I felt like it was
Yeah.
sweet tart melted in some milk. I didn't like it. Do you
that-
like it?
It's one of those things when we first had it, we were like, oh, I don't know about this. But the more, because we kind of specialize in Galaxy's Edge. So I actually like the green milk, which is like not a
Okay.
popular opinion. He likes the blue milk.
Yeah.
It's just
That's
one of
what I
those
have
things
is
you
blue.
grow like accustomed to the taste. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't get it like every time we go, but like special occasions, we're like, oh yeah, let's get a blue milk or whatever.
yeah.
So you
How
slowly
does Disney do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
And they're so expensive. They're like $9 or something for like this little cup. And I'm like, sure, why not? Let's get one.
I love it.
But I
It's for work.
recommend
It's got to
for-
count.
yeah.
It's a business write-off.
I recommend if you ever go back to Galaxy's Edge, you have to get the Ronto wrap. It's so good.
It's like an
wrap.
intergalactic hot dog. It comes in a pita and has like,
Yeah, it sounds. You look at it, you're like, I don't know. But then once that first bite hits your lips,
there's like peppercorn
oh my God.
sauce. I don't even know how to describe
love it, so good.
But,
Making me so
We
hungry.
love
know.
Disney
Like lobster
food.
nachos.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, granted, we've only had oatmeal for breakfast this morning, so anything sounding amazing.
That was
right
my
now.
idea. I'm so sorry.
Space hot dog. Ooh, that sounds great.
Oh man, I know we've had you guys here for a while, so maybe we should end on like best food at Disney World. Do you guys have a best food at Disney World?
Well, we've not to like plug recent videos, but like we don't go
Go
to
for it,
Disney
do
World
it.
as much, obviously, but we've been doing this new thing where we're going to each park and we're trying kind of like the best stuff that we've had before and stuff that we've heard, from different bloggers and stuff that are good. So right now we have a video for Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom is notorious for having terrible food, but we somehow found like the best food there. And we have
notoriously like they kind of like are more kid centric. Like, you know, they're like, you know, corn dog nuggets and hot dogs. And...
So we have a video for Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Epcot, and then we're going to have one from Hollywood Studios that's coming out sometime this week.
Yeah. Animal Kingdom has some of the best food.
So that was really fun going in and like trying different things. Like obviously the Ronto wrap. Oh wait, no, that wasn't on there. But we talk about it in the video. We're like, we're not eating it in this video, but you have to get it. Yeah. But I don't know. Do you have a favorite?
A favorite? You know,
like Epcot has the best food. Because like there's
always food festivals.
There's always a food festival going on, and like each country has like restaurants for that country. So there's a lot of different options there, and most of it's really, really good.
I like the pulled pork mac and cheese at Animal Kingdom. It has like some onion rings on top. It's just perfect.
What?
Like,
it's amazing.
Scary thing I'm craving right now: barbecue, mac and cheese, and onion rings.
And then watching giraffes and Mickey lasso them in the distance. It's just like,
So good. Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to do a food tour with you guys at Disney. One of the Disney parks one day. Like that sounds like my new dream. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. And if anybody wants to like follow your adventures, like where can we do this at?
Ordinary Adventures on YouTube and on social media. We're Ord Adventures, O-R-D Adventures.
Ordinary wasn't available for some reason.
No, it wasn't. You can't.
It was too long something. Yeah. So we're just Ord Adventures over there.
Yeah.
If you're looking for us over there.
Yeah. On all the social media.
Thank you. We'll link it all down below too.
I've thoroughly enjoed this. I want to have the background.
Thank you guys so much. I'm hungry and I'm ready to go to Disney. So thanks a lot.
Yes, thanks for having us. This was so much fun. I'm so excited.
I feel like, I don't know, this is strange because people come up to us all the time in the parks and they're like, I feel like I know you. And I always just like say to them, like, you do know us, we just don't know you. And this is strange because I feel like I know you guys, and I feel like maybe you guys feel like you know us, but we haven't really. Like, we've talked online, but not really hung out. So it's
I know
cool
it needs to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally, like
okay, we'll come to Disneyland if you guys come to Dollywood.
Yes.
That's the plan.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
And if we can tweet Dolly herself to make her available at the park, let's make it happen.
Big goals here. All right. Thank you guys so much. It was good to talk to you.